If I see one more person on TikTok defending Disney and bashing Rachel Zegler...
Okay, there's something wrong with this person. She's also known as the star of Snow White.
At this point, they might as well add an 8th dwarf named Bitey, because I'm going to start biting people's ankles. Anyway, stop being awful towards actors.
Hello, Disney. You're going to have to redo your film again, because this woman is a pig.
For asking, for demanding fair residuals during an actor's strike. I'm going to...
When a rising star's biggest scandal isn't a leaked tape or a messy tweet, but a spit, you know Hollywood's watching closely. Rachel Zegler's Hollywood story wasn't supposed to end like this. Handpicked by Steven Spielberg, crowned with awards for West Side Story, she was hailed as the future, a symbol of the new, the fresh, the progressive, and Disney, they fast-tracked her to become the new face of Snow White, a modern princess for a modern world. But in Hollywood, fairy tales are fragile, and Rachel's shattered quicker than most.
Girl power, girl boss. Everyone needs to be a strong, independent woman that don't need no man. And everybody is tired of that. Everybody is sick of that. And everybody is ganging up on Rachel. She dealt with some really, really severe backlash, which I can kind of understand. But me personally, I'm not under the impression that she wasn't maybe coached to make this happen, to create some type of a draw for the movie, because this is the narrative that Disney particularly is trying to push.
It started with whispers. During press tours, Rachel casually criticized the original Snow White as outdated, a weird love story about a guy stalking a girl. Innocent in conversation, deadly in headlines, the backlash was swift. Fans didn't see a brave new voice. They saw a rising star spitting on tradition. Memes exploded. Comment sections turned savage. Rachel's name, once bathed in praise, became the punchline of the week. Ooh.
But it's hard. And it's lonely. It's very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will be okay.
And Disney, who once championed her, began acting strangely. Marketing efforts slowed. Release dates shifted. Then, without warning, the Snow White remake disappeared from Disney+. No fanfare, no statement, just gone. Insiders called it corporate panic. Outsiders called it karma. Rachel, she called it a misunderstanding, then deleted the post.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business. Thanks.
But the silence said more than any apology could. When Disney pulls back, you know you're radioactive, one insider said. Rachel shrugged it off. After all, it was just the internet, right? And surely, a Broadway comeback would change the narrative. Enter Evita, live theater. A chance to reconnect with the audience, show her depth, rebuild her image. Except, backstage, the situation was already spiraling. Fast.
Honestly, girl boss narratives suck. They are either overpowered, poorly written, forced down the audience's throat, and it just looks like I'm staring at TikTok modern women posts that always talk about men are trash, men are this, men are that. They finally got the opportunity to do that, especially with this buffoon right here. I still don't know why she's still alive. And before you start saying I'm sexist, here are some well-written female characters. This woman right here is way better. So is she. And her too. Man, I love this girl, honestly. She couldn't fit in the background, but Debbie is definitely number one for me.
Reports trickled out. Mood swings, emotional outbursts, unsettling behavior. Fellow cast members whispered about her being always in performance mode, even off stage. She allegedly stormed off during rehearsals, rewrote lines without approval, and snapped at anyone who dared correct her. One castmate reportedly said she treated it like her one-woman show. The rest of us were just props. But no one, not even the harshest critics, saw the final meltdown coming. During a tense rehearsal, the director gave a note, not to Rachel, but to another actor. Witnesses say Rachel's body language changed instantly. Her jaw clenched, her shoulders stiffened, and then it happened.
We are an ensemble. We couldn't have done any of this without any of us doing the best work we've ever done from the beginners to the veterans. And for a beginner, Rachel, oh my God. You have an old soul. You are surrounded by some of the greatest actors who are floating around and watching you and instilling you with the virtues of a great actress. And you do that as the greatest Maria I have ever witnessed, ever.
Rachel allegedly turned to her co-star and spat in their direction. Silence, shock, horror. It wasn't a staged spit. It wasn't method acting. It was real, and it was personal. Security was called immediately. Cast members froze. A few walked out. According to backstage gossip, the co-star stood there, stunned, while Rachel was escorted out by security. Within an hour, industry forums lit up. Anonymous tips flooded TikTok. Rachel Zegler just spit on someone at Evita rehearsals. She's done. It's over. Rachel's next move? Silence, no public statement, no apology, no interview. Just a blurry Instagram story with the words, "Everyone has a breaking point." In Hollywood, silence isn't strength, it's surrender. And Rachel had just handed her enemies a loaded gun.
Rachel Zegler is reportedly struggling to get hired. Rachel Zegler was supposed to be in Paddington 3, however she was dropped from that movie a few weeks ago, and they said that they dropped her because of the actors' strike. However, there are numerous actors in Paddington 3 that are a part of SAG, yet they're still able to film in the movie. So people are speculating that it might be because of another reason, and most likely is because of the Snow White backlash, and studios not wanting to hire her given the fact that it might result in their movie not making a whole lot of money at the box office. She also voiced the lead character of an upcoming cartoon that was meant to be part of Apple TV. However, Apple dropped the cartoon film. However, it was picked up by Netflix, but people are wondering why Apple dropped it in the first place, and people once again are saying it's because of this Snow White backlash and them not wanting the movie to suffer because of her backlash.
Fans waited for clarification. Insiders held their breath. Nothing came. Meanwhile, the fallout behind the scenes was brutal. Multiple cast members allegedly refused to return to rehearsal if Rachel stayed. Producers scrambled. Pulling a lead actress mid-rehearsal would mean disaster, but keeping her in risked mutiny. Leaked emails revealed the production was exploring options, a polite way of saying they were preparing for shutdown. Worse, Rachel's name was being quietly blacklisted. One major studio reportedly scratched her from their upcoming project. A brand deal with a luxury fashion house disappeared overnight. Apple TV dropped her animated film without explanation. Netflix picked it up, but everyone knew what had happened. Rachel Zegler, once the golden girl of Hollywood, was now a risk no one wanted.
Just me being taken out of context and stuff, which is fine. That's what I signed up for, isn't it? But I never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have when I say that this has been the biggest adjustment of my life, like understanding the way my life operates now, being who I am, and the things that I've been so fortunate to make. It comes with so much ground that I never thought I would be able to cover, and that people think I'm doing poorly, and other people think I'm doing gracefully, and I don't think I'm doing it at all.
Her agents, desperate to contain the damage, reportedly begged her to issue a formal statement, to apologize publicly, to say something. Rachel refused. Instead, she posted another cryptic Instagram story. "Be careful who you trust. Not everyone wants you to heal." The industry heard loud and clear. She wasn't taking responsibility, she was doubling down. Insiders say studio executives started labeling her a volatile risk. Casting directors removed her from shortlists. PR agencies distanced themselves, and then came the whispers. The ones Hollywood fears most. She's difficult. She's uncontrollable. She's a nightmare to work with. Suddenly, Rachel wasn't the star. She was the problem.
It is the real beginning of my life as a young lady of America. Of America.
In this business, talent is everywhere, a casting director noted. What we value more is predictability, harmony. Rachel Zegler brings the opposite. Her former co-stars went silent. No statements of support, no Instagram likes, just nothing. In Hollywood, silence speaks louder than slander. Rumors even surfaced that some A-list actors refused to attach themselves to projects with her name on the call sheet. One reportedly said, "I value my sanity," and it didn't stop there. One by one, her brand endorsements faded. Invitations to industry events quietly vanished. Disney never officially fired her, but they also never mentioned her name again. The Snow White release date is now indefinitely delayed, with insiders hinting that the film may never see the light of day. Rachel's career, once a rocket, now feels like wreckage. It's brutal, it's unfair, but it's Hollywood, and for all her talent, for all her potential, Rachel made the one mistake this industry never forgives: public disrespect. See, in Hollywood, stars can survive scandals. They can recover from bombed movies, bad reviews, even personal controversies. But spit, literal, visible, unfiltered contempt is something different. It's not just a bad look, it's a symbol, a stain that PR spin can't scrub clean. People forget box office numbers. They remember moments, especially the ugly ones. Rachel's talent was undeniable. But talent isn't enough. In an industry obsessed with image, once you're labeled difficult, you might as well wear it as a tattoo. And it raises the ultimate question: is there any way back for Rachel Zegler? Maybe she'll lie low, let the storm pass. Maybe she'll stage a comeback. A raw, emotional apology, a charity role, a redemption arc. Or maybe she'll vanish. One more Hollywood cautionary tale about how fast the dream can shatter. Because in the end, it wasn't one bad movie or one bad interview that did her in. It was a single, impulsive moment. A moment caught not by camera, but by the people who mattered most. And in Hollywood, respect is currency. Rachel Zegler spent hers in one spit. And no one, no studio, no agent, no brand is rushing to give her a refund. Hollywood has a short memory for success, but a long one for scandal. Rachel Zegler's story isn't just about a fall from grace. It's a reminder of how fast the spotlight can burn. What do you think? Can Rachel make a comeback? Or is this the end of her Hollywood chapter for good? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want more untold stories and behind-the-scenes drama, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. We've got a lot more coming.